My daughter and I were standing in front of our house on the sidewalk, and there was a truck that was driving slowly by. My daughter's special needs and she's nonverbal and she likes trucks, so she began to point at it. And I said, "That's a truck." And she was happy, and the truck continued to go. Now, we live in a cul-de-sac, and so I knew that within moments the truck was going to be coming back. And sure enough, the truck, as it came back, my daughter began pointing again. I could see that the people in the truck were a little bit puzzled as to why she was pointing at them. So I said, "Honey, don't point, wave at the people." So she waved, and within seconds, the truck stopped and rolled down their window, and it happened to be a senior couple who happened to be driving around in the neighborhood. And they asked me how I liked living in this neighborhood, and so we began a conversation. We talked about all the hot topics of the day, COVID, politics, and after about half an hour, suddenly the man says to me, "I'm not a religious man, but I'm in my 80s, and I really do believe that if the world would just adopt and practice the 10 commandments that God gave us, 90% of our problems would disappear." Pause, and I suddenly in that moment realized this isn't a random conversation. I had a choice. I could either continue on talking about world problems, or I could turn this conversation spiritual. So I decided to turn the conversation spiritual. I asked him why, if he's not a religious man, did he think that the 10 Commandments were a good idea? We began having a conversation about sinful nature of man, what it means to be born again, my testimony, my faith, what I believe. I was able to share all that with him. We got into all sorts of spiritual issues and conversation, and it was fantastic. At the end, I said to him, now that you have lived to your 80s and you've had so many experiences and you see what the world is like without God, perhaps maybe God is revealing this to you because he's calling you back into a relationship with him, and he's showing you what it looks like, not only for the world to not have a relationship with him, but also for individuals as yourself. And his wife stopped and paused, and they took a moment, and his wife says, "I think you're right." We had a good rest of our conversation, and they ended up telling me where they lived and invited me over for coffee anytime. And they left, and I thought, that just reminds me of that verse, to be ready to have an answer for the hope that lies within us. And that this random conversation and experience was not so random. And we have these opportunities all around us if we would just take a risk and speak about Jesus to people.